Welcome to LUTV News InFocus, where we feature interesting topics on campus, in the community, and in the world of culture. I am Briana Dupas. According to the Lamar University's 2018 enrollment by ethnicity statistics, the school is a majority-minority institution. However, some students are concerned about whether or not the campus reflects these figures. Dr. Kenneth Evans, the president of Lamar University, is here to discuss ideas about inclusion and the vision for 2020. How are you doing?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm fine.
Good.
I'm fine. Okay, so my first question would be, looking back into the semester, what are some highs and lows that you have for Lamar University?
Back in this semester,
Yes, sir.
we're at record enrollment this fall. About 15,000, almost 500 students, roughly. A very large growth has taken place in the online education space, principally due to some changes in state policy regarding counseling support for K through 12 institutions, and has lowered that ratio, and is requiring schools to step up the number of counselors they have, and we provide an educational capability in both certificates and degree product in that space. You know, by and large, coming out of Imelda and what you might anticipate in terms of the impact of that storm, it wasn't as devastating from the standpoint of student enrollment as Harvey was, but it's due to a tremendous team effort on behalf of our admissions staff and our advising staff and our faculty and by and large the entire campus community.
Okay. My second question would be, I hear that Lamar University is having a new strategic plan. How can students give input on this strategic plan? Do they have any kind of input?
Yeah, there's students that are on that
Okay.
strategic planning committee, and then we do open forums where the students have an opportunity. In fact, we're doing them today and tomorrow,
Okay.
where the students have an opportunity to provide input into that.
Alrighty. That's good that students have, you know, an opinion on things where they're living at or attending at. With situations going on, how is it being president of an institution that's more than 50% of students of color, according to the 2018 enrollment by ethnicity statistic?
And actually, and that the mix of diversity is changing too. You add to that, when you talk about diversity, you have to be more inclusive than strictly students of color.
Yes.
You also have to look at the number of first-generation students we serve, which is upwards of about 57, 58%. So
Okay.
the majority of our students are first generation that are in
Okay.
residence. So as an institution, you have to align yourself with the ability to support the different populations that require simply a different kind of academic support in order to be able to afford them access to the degree products that you provide. So first generation students, they often do not have parents, of course, that have any familiarity with the college experience, much less having even gone to college. So as a consequence, helping them navigate that first year in particular is really important. So giving them tutorial and mentorship support that they need. There are populations, particularly of men, in students of color that require additional support because our retention rates tend to be very difficult in those populations. And so we have people dedicated to helping those students navigate the college experience. And we also have a rapidly growing Hispanic student population. It's almost doubled in the last, as a percentage of our total population in the last 6 or 7 years, and is likely to continue to do the same thing.
Alrighty. So you just stated about doubling the amount of Hispanic students attending Lamar University. So how is LU working towards, you know, adapting to that kind of change where more Hispanic students are attending Lamar?
Well, part of it, of course, is making sure that we have Spanish-speaking websites that make it particularly possible for the family to be able to secure information about what's happening at the university and what the expectations are of a student who's being admitted. When we do recruiting efforts, we are more inclusive in that process, including the entire family, and often that means also the on-site visitations that they do. We are now in the process of adding somebody to we already have 2 people that are Hispanic speaking in our recruiting team, and we're going to be adding another person whose principal objective is to really target what we do on campus to be more consistent with cultural expectations as a student comes to campus.
Okay. So the main purpose of this is to increase inclusion because we're becoming a majority
Right.
minority. So what is being done to help the current students of color, like the Black students, the Hispanic students, the Asian students, the mixed race, any of that sort, and also, first generation students on campus?
Well, I touched on some of that already. So what we do with principally male students of color, both African American as well as Hispanic, is we've got a dedicated staff member that works with those populations to help them in the navigation, particularly of that. It's more than just the first year, it's often really the second year as well, because they'll frequently go home and they get back into environments that they had left, and often the peer groups tend to influence them about maybe not coming back to school. So doing what we can to help them navigate that process. The first generation I've already talked about. That is, and many of the students of color are first generation students. And then of course we've got the McNair program, which is a program targeted at a diverse student population. So there's students of color as well as first generation students. And it's to give those students an opportunity to participate in research experiences and potentially move them on to the possibility of graduate programs. Critical for us is not only that we do everything we can in hiring faculty of color, but that we also do everything we can to cultivate an environment where students of color are interested in seeking graduate programs,
Yes.
where they in turn then can hopefully populate the academic world.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Evans.
You're welcome.
And thank you for watching LUTV News in Focus. To see more content from LUTV News, follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.